Suddhananda divyaistavai vedeshangavada karmapanishadai gayandiyam samagaha dhyanavastidadangate namanasa pashyandiyam yogina yasyandam navidasura Swami. Okay, please read. Na buddhi vedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam josaye sarva karmani vidwan yuktas samacharan prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. That particular statement, na buddhi vedam janayet agyanam karma sanginam. Agya is a universal word describing every man, every person in this universe. Na janati, janati iti gyaha, one who knows. Na janati iti agya, one who does not know. Does not know what? Ask. When you say somebody is ignorant, ignorant of what? Not only, when you say you are ignorant, is not only somebody is ignorant about the world, but more importantly, ignorant about himself. Are you getting that point, please? Everybody is ignorant. Ignorant about the world. And even when the ignorance about the world goes on being eliminated, the ignorance about himself still continues. Agnya, ignorance. And that is why every struggle in life continues. There is a search. Animals struggle for survival. There is no existential, philosophical, emotional problem. In case of the human being, they are ignorant about the world. As much they are ignorant, as much a human child is ignorant about the world, that much animals also ignorant about the world. But the animals continue to be ignorant about the world. The child comes to know about this world, and also in the process of gaining the knowledge about the world, he is also getting an individuality, not knowing anything about himself. So that is how every child begins. Now friends, today we shall see something. A beautiful idea came to my mind as I was sitting down sometime before I come to my class. I always do that, whether you do it or not. Because just to see what is coming, what exactly ideas are coming into the head. A beautiful thought came to my mind. I'll share with you. Think over it. You also work on it. Please tell me, suppose you are asked to give a blueprint for human life. What type of blueprint you shall give? Just please think. What type of plan, what type of blueprint you shall give for any human life? What shall be a plan for somebody? Your plan shall be according to your knowledge, what you have gone through, What is that average person has gone through? Average man's blueprint will be what? Today's modern man, we are more educated, we can have better blueprints for ourselves. Relatively better. In the olden days, when there was no education, nothing, the person's whole planning shall be, I must be alive, maybe I must get married, I should have children, they should be happily settled, I should die. That will be the blueprint. There is no such idea, please see that. Who can give you the... It's not the word. There is no comparison. Who can give you the most sensible blueprint? Everybody shall say you must be educated, you must grow up, you must be alive, you must be educated, you must have job, you must have security, you must have relationship, you must have a family. These things will make you happy and one day you shall helplessly die. There shall be no talk of your being immortal while living here. There shall be no talk of your being happiness while living here. There shall be no talk of your being wise, awakened while living in while living through this life. These concepts, are you getting that point? These concepts do not exist for the average person. That I can be immortal, infinity, absolute. That is why Upanishads take the cake. Vedas takes it so beautiful. What do you call this Sanatana Dharma? There is Sanatana, it is not a sectarian religion which is following of this or that. Sanatana Ishwarasya Dharma, Sadayeva Nutana, which is ever new, ever fresh, based on the truth, the reality itself. And it has a planning for the individual. The scheme is, from the childhood, as you begin, what things should be done? And what is the education? What is the thing you must know? Not only about the world, aparavidya, but also paravidya. This reference to aparavidya, paravidya. Aparavidya means objective knowledge. Paravidya means subjective knowledge of the absolute. You start with aparavidya, objective knowledge. End up with paravidya, the knowledge of yourself, and where you know you are as much absolute as anybody else is. You are as infinity as anybody else is. You are not an isolated individual, but part of a huge macrocosmic system. No microorganism stands apart from the macro universe. Call it samashti, vyashti. Vyashti, individual, samashti, total. Call it jiva, ishvara. Call it individual, call it God. Whatever you call it, nobody stands apart from the infinity absolute. Everybody is infinity, everybody is absolute. This vision, this awareness, who has got? And he has it a plan for you. That is why, please understand, that is why ignorance is accepted. Ignorance is not resisted. Understand? Ignorance is accepted. Ignorance is not resisted. Conflict is accepted. Conflict is not resisted. Suffering is accepted. Suffering is not resisted. What the people try to do is they resist suffering. Try to get out of suffering, no problem. Try to get out of a disease, not a problem. But then, understand, you accept it as it is, thereafter do something to go beyond it, no problem. And then, however much you may try, you cannot take away the suffering of the physical body. Because body means jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. The body that is born shall inevitably die. However best life you may live, the most wonderful life, Mahayogi, you can keep your body absolutely fit. Somebody dies 63, you will be dying 73. Or 93, 103. Very well disciplined person. You can live with the body for a long time, maybe 100 years. But after that, you have to die. Death you have to face. You cannot escape death. You have to face death. So physically, we are living with this physical body. Nobody can escape the death. Now when it is happening like that, then you are afraid of death now. Our education prosperity, law, every type of political, social arrangement are meant to increase the human happiness quotient. That everybody should be happy, everybody should be comfortable. You can make the people comfortable, but at one time the person will die. Inevitably, everybody begins with ignorance. Therefore, do not condemn ignorance. Now that ignorance, now we say you must know about, you must get out of the ignorance. That there are two types of ignorance, today's secular knowledge doesn't know about it. There are two types of ignorance. Ignorance about the world, ignorance about the self. It's a huge topic, like it or not. All of us have gone through school, college, university. In which university they explain to us that you are not aware of yourself. Rather they leave us with the high and mighty feeling that I am the postgraduate, I am the PhD, I am this, then I pass through certain competitive examination, I am the civil servant, I am the engineer, I am the doctor, I am the ambassador. With that type of notorious hat on your head, you escape from the corridors of the university. And then there is a competition in the world around. Who is more powerful? Politician is more powerful, executive is more powerful. So continuous struggle between politicians and the executives. Continuous struggle between the rich and the poor. Continuous struggle between the sexes, man and the woman. Among the people, which color is more important? Which lineage is more important? All these things continues. Please appreciate, nobody talks about ignorance of the self. The language doesn't exist. And if you go into the religion, they talk about the ignorance about some God. Because human beings inevitably go through emotional problem. Once your physical, material things are taken care of, and you are jumping into the realm of emotions, thoughts, perceptions, sensations, emotions are inevitable, and when it doesn't gel with your life, then religion, you try to escape into something, some type of solving the mind's problem. And where do you go then? Somebody gives you some drugs, somebody gives you some drinks, or going to sleep. Common sense cures. It doesn't work. When you are tired of all these things, then you start with a belief system that God will take care. So most religions will believe on they will prescribe or they will initiate you into some type of a faith system. Where you are interested, you are more, the individuality is forced to sacrifice itself at the altar of the God, some unknown God. Suppose you are not a believer, think of it, suppose you are not a believer, you don't know what to do. If you are not a believer, you don't know what to do. The other person will look down upon you. Suppose you are a believer, you sacrifice yourself at the altar of the faith. So there is some type of a little comfort comes in life because your individuality sacrificed. It's just like moments of love and affection. You love somebody, your individuality is temporarily suspended. In a belief also, your individuality is temporarily suspended. But once your belief goes away, individuality returns. Like your love goes away, your individuality returns. You are again facing the same problem. Then what happens? You somehow live through it. Somehow you live through it. Hoping for against hope. So suppose, since many people know they cannot solve the problem here, some people take the cake, they postpone it for the hereafter. That no problem can be solved here, only in the hereafter. Waiting for the solution in the hereafter, can you go through your life's problem now? You cannot. So that is where you are totally disappointed. So who gives you the knowledge of yourself? Is it in the plan, program? This program doesn't exist. Are you getting that point, please? We are, understand, it is, I'm not talking about matters of faith. Here we are, highly educated people, you have exposed yourself to school, college, university, the best things of the world. Where do anybody talks about this ignorance about the self? That is some type of mystery. It goes into the realm of mystery, goes into the realm of mysticism, goes into the realm of vague religiousness, and that is where much more confusion begins. It is like confusing the confused. Is it necessary to confuse the confused? Think of that statement. Is it necessary to condemn the ignorance? Ignorance is not your choice. Do you understand the point, please? Ignorance is not your choice. Ignorance is not anybody's choice. Do you choose to be ignorant? You are ignorant. Then how do you condemn ignorance? When somebody goes through an infectious disease, like the conjunctivitis comes, everybody's eyes are red. Now there is suppose smallpox, everybody gets infected. When it so happens, do you blame people? Why are you like that? Hey, what are you talking? It's not by my choice. What can I do about it? It comes up. So ignorance also is not by choice. Suppose you are overeating and therefore you are fat, people can blame you. Why are you overeating? Why are you so fat? But in disease that comes by itself, you do not know what to do. Try to cure it. Same thing also ignorance. Ignorance is not by choice. Ignorance comes to every individual. And because of that ignorance, not knowing about myself, we have all started living. And what is the plan? Depends on society. Depends on society. How many societies talk about dharma, artha, kama, moksha, chaturvidha purushartha? How many people talk about that life you should be liberated, free here and now? How many people talk about you must discover yourself? Satchidananda Swarupoham, I am the Absolute, I am the Sat Swarupa, Chit Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa, Shivoham Shivoham, I am the existence, I am the auspiciousness, immortality, absolute. Even people don't get to listen to these things. So much so, even if they listen to it, they cannot believe in it. They laugh at it and go away. Even if you tell somebody, you are the absolute, what nonsense are you talking about? Instead of being interested to know, really, because everybody says I am mortal, I am dying, I am miserable, I am limited, I am complex, I am confused. You are telling, I am infinity, I am absolute, I am eternity, I am the happiness, I am the bliss, I am the freedom. How? Even that type of curiosity has not started coming into this creation now. That is why this knowledge must be dinned into everybody's head. If there is any channel, you should have a TV channel, we should 24 hours spread this message. Doesn't matter. Let the people at least listen. Out of curiosity, maybe the fellow one will come one day. Really, is it true I am infinity absolute? Because you can't believe. When the whole world is singing the song of mortality, the sad, decadent song of mortality, misery, who has the time to listen to the song of the absolute happiness? Nobody has time. It is like thousands of people sitting down in a famine or during a flood, some type of natural disaster, and they're starving away, and somebody talking about 5-star dinner, royal banquet. The person cannot believe it. What is this fellow talking nonsense? When the whole world is miserable, everybody is miserable. Somebody is miserable in a hutment, somebody is miserable in a palace. The person who is miserable in palace is ashamed of being miserable. Why? Because he is supposed to be happy. Modern man has run out of excuses. You have run out of excuses to be unhappy in life. The caveman had nothing. Had no food, no shelter, no medicine, no security of any kind, no education, no car, everything struggle. Now you have got all the houses, all the cars, beautiful roads, nice food, nice entertainment. Still you are miserable. That is why much more miserable than the other person. When the other person had a reason to be miserable, you have run out of the reasons. That is why more miserable. Today's man is more miserable. That is why more desperate, more criminal. The person doesn't know what to do, more frustrated. And that is the time the person goes into some type of bizarre religious cult. Don't do this, or all these things are done. That is not the solution. That is why I am asking today, that little point came into the mind. Ask people, ask everybody, what is your plan for the entire life? Who can give you the best plan? You want to listen to my plan? The plan that Upanishad gives to you, grow up like a child. Saishave adhita vidyana, like Kalidas writes about Raghuvamsa, about the Raghuvamsa kings. This is the tradition. Saishave adhita vidyana. When you are a Saishava means Shishu, child. When you are a child, adhita vidyanam, study. Study everything. What about studying? Aparavidya, about knowing about all these things. Then what happens? That Adhita Vidya also, when you go to Brahmachari, as a Brahmachari, you go to Gurukula, you study the Aparavidya, then it should end up with the Paravidya. Why? Because when you start with the Aparavidya, the objective science, that objective science will help you to get a strong individuality. Understand? That is why the education, that which rescues the individual from mass of collectivity, gives him a definite identity. Education, Aparavidya, objective knowledge, rescues us from mass of individuality, the mass of anonymity, complete mass of humanity, and gives a separate identity. Who are you? So and so PhD, graduate, postgraduate. It gives a definite identity. When it gives you a definite identity, please understand, gives you knowledge, gives you a identity. Once this identity comes up, which is a side effect of the objective knowledge. It is like a person is, like a child is growing. Please see that similarity. A child is growing. When the child is growing up, mummy should know the defect in the child's growth. Suppose the mummy is a doctor, safe. Suppose the mummy doesn't know what to do, it will be a problem. So the child is born healthy. Just take it granted. Child is born healthy. Because the child is born healthy, if you say, if I start feeding him, the fellow will burp, the fellow will vomit, the fellow will have stomach upset, he may have a loose motion. I won't feed him. What will happen? The child will die. For the growth of the child, you have to give him food. And once you start giving him food, the system will start working. When the system starts working, there will be side effect of the food. What will be the side of the food? Little diseases will be coming here and there. When it comes, the mother should know how to give the medicine. And when you give the medicine may have a side effect. Take care of it. A 7-8-year-old, the child is established. Next 30-40 years, just taking for granted, next 30-40 years, you have no problem. Okay? Please see. Exactly the same way, human mind. When a child is born, mind is also innocent. So if you say child is healthy, therefore you should not give him any food, the child will die. Now the child is innocent, therefore should not give him any thought or education, that will not solve the problem. You have to educate. Because he shall inevitably see, hear, taste or smell. And he shall be curious to know everything. Are you getting that point, please? And as he starts getting this knowledge, you have to train that mind, remove this ignorance. By giving this knowledge has a side effect. What is that? Ahankar. The moment you get this knowledge, engineering, I am engineer. Physics, I am physicist. Mathematics, I am mathematician. Solid individuality comes in. When this side effect comes in, now, do you have the necessary ingredient in the secular knowledge system to take care of this side effect? It doesn't have it. In the secular knowledge system, there is no such ingredient which to take care of this side effect. If you have got psychology as a branch of knowledge, psychology also doesn't talk about the individuality. It talks about very crude way it talks about. It doesn't take into account the absolute infinity. That is not supposed to be there. Because again, psychology also being the product of the Western countries, where there is no scientific spirit is, that which you cannot duplicate, you should not talk about it. God is, that is why banned from science. If you cannot experimentally prove it, you should not talk about it. Infinity is also pushed away from the realm of science, psychology, because psychology also is part of same type of mind. No criticism against it, please understand. That is the observation. Because they will not accept infinity absolute. If by chance a psychologist accept infinity and absolute, he shall not be accepted by the psychology fraternity. They will not be accepted. They have to say, that is like many religion. Many religion people, those who have got a exclusive view of religion, that is, there is a God sitting down somewhere, or this is the God and rest is ungodly. By chance from their following, somebody talks about God as universal, they will not be accepted by the average people. Understand? Simple example, when I say, please understand, I am not being nasty or trying to pull down something. It is like some people, like people born in Hindu tradition, because this tradition is beautiful, you can fit in anything. So they shall say, as you have got a Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, then Christianity also has a Trinity, the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Tell it to Pope. He is not going to accept it. Neither the rabid followers of Christianity will ever accept it. Because those three things are completely different situation, different thing. Even in Christianity, I am not talking. The Pope himself, this Pope now, himself had told, forget others. In the Christianity itself, every other denomination is deficient except Catholic. And next, if you want to say there is a God, it has to be referred to as a He. There is no she, it, nothing. It has to be a He. It's not my statement, nor it is against or for. This is available for everybody in your internet, newspaper, so it is not that I am trying to make it up. Anybody, forget now that any religion for that matter, if you say that, they will do that. Even in Hinduism also, even though it has got everything one and the absolute, how many Hindus are aware of it? Vishnu, Vaishnavite, Shiva, Shaivite, Shakti, Shaktas, Surya Upasaka, Sauraj, Ganesha Upasaka, Ganapatiyas, Kumara Upasaka, Kaumaraj. You understand how many divisions are there? So previously in Hindu tradition, people are divided in the names of God. Now people are divided in the names of gurus. Much more dangerous. That is why Hindu society is much more divided today. Previously they were divided in the name of gods. Shaiva, Sakta, Vaishnava, Ganapatya, all these things, Kaumaras, different types of following of different gods, different divisions. Today, this Swami, this Baba, this Amma, this Pata, this Baba, this, all that stuff. Different types. So Hindus don't exist anymore. That is because Hindu is not a community. You understand, getting that point, please? It's so beautiful, yet it can be misunderstood. So it's not about other religions talking about. Even in the Hindu tradition, which has got the most beautiful vision, on the lower strata, if you look at it, there also people are fanatic about personal gods. And that is not good for the society. Because the moment you have these exclusive things, then there shall be division between, comparison between, fight between followers of different gods and gurus and the traditions and things like that. Are you getting that? So what is needed is today, please. So when thus the religion people tired of this individuality were going into religion, psychology did not solve the problem, does not solve the problem, then what happens? You go into religion. And you go into religion, they give you another exclusive identity. It doesn't solve the problem. So you must know how to take care of the side effect. If ignorance is a disease, if individuality is the effect, self-knowledge becomes the medicine. Atma-jnana, knowing about one's own self, that becomes the medicine. And this knowledge about yourself, the person must know about himself. When you know about yourself, what do you get? All happiness, all bliss, infinity. When? While living here and now. So this must be the blueprint for every human being. Are you getting that point, please? Every human child must be exposed to it. Universal education. Everybody must have chance to expose itself to objective knowledge. School, college for everybody. Once you have gone into college level, and where there is an early hint of the strong individuality begins, now start helping him to understand about himself. Once he understands about himself, before you get into your society, before you get into a marriage, before you get into any branch of knowledge, know about yourself. Having known about yourself, then which religion you want to follow? You choose. Why? Knowing yourself is not a religion. Are you getting that point, please? Knowing about yourself is not a religion. But suppose you need certain religious practices, different types of gods. Somebody is comfortable with Shiva, somebody with Vishnu, somebody with Hari, somebody with Rama, somebody with Jesus, somebody with Buddha, somebody with Jain, somebody with this. Hey, it makes no difference. You don't like any of these things, you like a tree, you like a stone, doesn't matter. That is your life. You be yourself. Are you getting that point? You be yourself. Just like, what food you want? Don't ask me. Whatever is available. India, Indian dishes. China, Chinese dishes. Japan, Japanese dishes. Australia, Australian dishes. America, American dishes. Mexico, Mexican dishes. Whatever available, food. What is your dress? Anything you say. Whatever available, whatever you want to put on. Please appreciate. What dresses you should put on? What food you should have? That is, how can you associate a religion with a vegetarian, non-vegetarian? You associate a particular lifestyle with the wisdom. There is no such stuff. You be wise. Then you choose your lifestyle. And you shall be so flexible. You will not confuse anybody, because you are not confused. Your happiness no more depends on a particular something. You are a free person, absolutely happy with yourself. But if you have got your way of eating particular food or a dress or a language or anything, you follow it up. It doesn't matter. Such a person will not insist that other person must speak my language, my food, my dress, my practice, then only he shall understand the truth. No. Because you are already the truth. Are you getting that point? So the whole world becomes beautiful. This is the blueprint for every person. Not to make everybody the follower of a religion. Not to everybody make a Christian, not to make somebody a communist or a Democrat or this or that. Not you are supposed to make somebody as a Muslim or a Hindu or a this or that or that. No. You be yourself. Thereafter, what you are comfortable with, you continue. Ideally, if you think of it, everybody must be himself. If there is a knowledge side, if you look at it, universal knowledge, knowledge of the self, Atma Vidya. If you want to political establishment, democracy is the method. Bas. It's a beautiful thing. Absolutely. Two systems are wonderful. One is democracy, so that everybody participates in that, and you select a person to rule you, no problem. Select some people to rule you so that they are not permanent rulers. It's just those things we shall talk some other time. That's the best part of it. And then, but everybody must be happy, free with himself. So this is the knowledge. Now, before you get into that oneness, everybody necessarily begins with ignorance. So when somebody is already ignorant, already confused, do I need a religion? Do I need teachers to further confuse? That is why, na buddhi vedam janayet. Do not create a conflict of interest. Do not create. Why? When the person is already lost in that. Don't tell him you should not be doing it. He has already done it. Can you be kind? Can you be sensitive? The person has already done it. Why? Read. We have seen that. Other verse we have read. Prakrutehe kriyama. See the beauty of these verses. You shall be floored. Your heart will be literally melting away with sympathy if you really appreciate this. Prakrutehe kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. Hey Arjuna, ahankara vimudha antakarana kartahamiti manyate. The person, because of the ignorance, not knowing about himself, ahankara vimudha, completely overwhelmed by the sense of individuality, taking himself to be all that he is not. Not knowing he who is, takes himself to be all that he has, that is ahankar. Ahankar is not who I am, but taking all that I have to be who I am. That is ahankar, in a simple definition. When you say you are rich, think. When you say you are rich, which is rich? Diamond is rich or you are rich? Are you getting that? Diamond is rich. But what do you say? I am rich. Ahankar. So when diamond is stolen, you are useless. The post is big or you are big? Managing director. Post is big or you are big? the post is big. Post is gone, you are finished. So that is why people riddled with ahankar gets destroyed in life. Why? Because they are dragging the importance of something onto themselves. Not only you drag the importance of something to yourself, but also drag the limitation of something to yourself. Body is young, you are young. Body is old, I am old, naturally. If you can drag the youth of the body, can you escape the old age of the body? Karta. Ahankara vimudhatma. Kartaham iti manyate. Considers himself to the I. Why does he do that? Prakrutehe kriyamanani. Gunaihi karmani sarvasa. Sarvasa, for all people, all prakari, sarvasa, sarva prakari, by all means, what happens? Prakrute kriyamanani gunani karmani. Prakrute kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvasa. Prakrutehe kriyamanani karmani. Prakrutehe gunaihi, because of the Prakriti guna. What is that? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, guna, or it will come later on guna and karma. Guna means it will come. Gunaha means karana. Guna means vishaya. It will come. Guna, gunaha guneshu vartante. Karanatmika and vishayatmika. There are two things. Two things in this world. One is karana, your sense organs. Gunaha guneshu vartante. Sense organs dwell upon the sense object. By your choice or it happens by itself. Come on. A child starts looking at things by choice or it happens. Natural. Prakrute. Kriyamanani. You don't choose to see. Please feel this statement. Huh? Take this statement and see for yourself. Remember your childhood. Did you choose to see? Or the perceptions already taking place? Did you choose to hear? Long before I choose to hear or not to hear something, already hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, seeing, already going on. And when this is going on, eyes see, but somewhere the feeling comes up, I see. Somewhere the feeling comes up, I hear. I have myself seen with my own eyes. Oh boy. I have heard with my own ear. Do you understand that? This is what? Natural to everybody. Do not condemn ignorance, nor condemn individuality, nor condemn any ownership. Because that is how everybody will be. Tell them how to do it. What is the mistake? Mistake is not in perception. Ahankara bimudha antakarana. Individuality not knowing, I not knowing how to see, I have identified with everything that is seen and the eyes. Ishvara, 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 you must see. Who has time to look in this way? Why? The children, youngsters, those who are lost in the disco, drama, pleasure, dance, music, chasing goals of different types of things. Just put them down and say, come on, come on, come on. Sit down. Why are you doing all this? What shall I say? Don't waste my time. What are you doing? The person doesn't, listen friend, the person doesn't have the time to pause. Because the whole world is moving ahead with so much of speed, if it takes off 1 year to pause to think, he shall be 1 year junior to his own friends. You can't even take away 1 year from your life, from your college, from your academics, to get in to know about yourself. What am I doing? When you are moving, at least sometime you should sit down and say, where am I going? The billions of people are moving, so I am also moving. Movies. Today especially media, television, newspaper, What are they giving to people? What is the goal? Teenage millionaire. What is the goal? Everybody wants to be a VIP. This prize you should win. This man you should win. Hey, world gives you the Oscar. In your life, you are a failure. Today, unhappy incident. So many things are happening. In newspaper it has come. Those of you know Chitra Singh, Jagjit Singh, Chitra Singh. His daughter committed suicide today. Yes, a son had already died in an accident. Imagine, they're famous couple, ghazal couple, the ultimate music. The son had died 19 years, 18 years back in a car accident. After that, the lady had stopped singing. Yesterday, his daughter has hanged herself in Bombay. 40-year-old. For what? Hey, now forget the people. Forget the people. What I'm talking is, look at the glamorous, as the page 3 celebrities. Singers, dancers, artists, entertainers, all the entertainers, busy in that, behind that entertaining facade, there is a personal tragedy. Nobody talks about it. The average person looks at the facade. You don't cross that veil. You are not allowed to cross that veil. Even the same media which is exposing everything, to keep up the glamour, they will not talk about the personal tragedies of the people. Understand? Simple as an example I am telling, friends. When I was a student myself, because I happened to be in the secretary for our postgraduate English association. So naturally I became very much involved with the professors, DPI, directors and other things, sort of coming in very close contact. As a student, you don't meet your professor every day. For what? But as a secretary, which I never wanted, my friends only pushed me there. Then I started coming in the very close proximity with the powers that be. They discovered it. Lovely, top man, top in administration. Go home, different game. He is teaching us, hundreds of students. His own son is a failure and is so miserable as a father. He may be a professor, but between the two brothers there is a huge fight. Husband and wife, huge fight. Suddenly it opens up to the, as a child's eyes, I was like shattered. You are opening up to the adult's world. You thought everything is wonderful, power, position, nice. But behind that, huge fight. Everywhere it happens. But how many people are exposed to that? Average person, it's like pushing a blinker in front of you and not seeing anything. You are not allowed to see. Buddha was kept under that, inside that palace, 19, 20-year-old, not being able to see a sick fellow, an old fellow, anything he did not see. Today, media also keeps you going that way. Education keeps us doing that way. Everybody talks about rags to riches story. Have you seen anybody talking riches to rags story? Rags to riches, everybody talks. From nowhere he started, he went to the top. How many people are falling from the top? Have you kept a list of it? The people who are rich there, how many of them committed suicide? How many people are frustrated? Everybody talks about the glamorous life of that multi-billionaire who was the Howard Hughes. That's not a modern day Ravan, it's not a mythological story. The man who married all the glamorous stars of the world, owned the Boeing Corporation. How did he die? A person who never believed in anybody, bed sore, isolated in a hotel room. Who talks about it? Talk about everybody. Please see that. If you call an average youngster to talk about these things, he has no time. Nobody has time. Why? If you take off 1 year, you shall be junior to your friends. You will fall behind. You lag behind. Move on. And what is the plan? My father has fixed it for me. I should be 25-year-old millionaire. My society has fixed it for me. I should be the top executive by the time I'm 30, 40-year-old. Nobody talks about at what price. Why? At the end of it, when I'm frustrated, where do I go? Whom shall I question? Okay, father, I got educated. Okay, society, I became the top position. After that, what? You are supposed to be happy. If you are unhappy, something wrong with you. Huh? You are supposed to be happy. So you have to pretend to have that facade that I am happy, I have everything. Why? Because how can you be rich? You have got everything and still be miserable. They will not allow you to be miserable. Your laughter is for everybody. Your misery is for you. You cry alone. You go into religion, it's a permanent postponement. Not here, later on. Or here it is, but if you do these things, if you follow of this, if you eat this, don't eat this, to be happy, conditions apply. What type of happiness is that if there are conditions apply? You understand the greatness of this tradition. So humanistic, so universal. You be yourself, no conditions apply. What shall I eat? You don't decide. What shall I dress? Why are you asking me? What shall I do? What is your question? One principle, be happy and happily do everything. Don't destroy yourself, don't destroy anybody. Bas. Atmanaha mokshartham jagad hitaya cha. For your own liberation as well as for the sake of everybody. You are happy. Can a happy man make other people unhappy? You don't have to do that. Nor you condemn anybody's ignorance. Why? You started with ignorance. You know what all things you've gone through. Now you know what you have understood. Therefore, with confidence you tell the person, no condemnation. Na buddhi vedam janayat. Don't tell a person, don't do this. You know, unless you drop your practice, drop your habits, you cannot do. No. Come as you are. With your whole package inside, your whole memories inside, your anger, your hatred, your jealousy, your stupidity, your meanness, your criminal tendencies, every nonsense you have got inside, please, you cannot leave it and come. Bring it and come. That is your house. Come along with everything. We shall show you the beauty right in and through that ugliness. Right in and through that changing things, there is a changeless beauty. And that is yourself. Thereafter, you shall not be oppressed, tormented, tortured by your thoughts or emotions. You shall know exactly how to use it. Because you are being yourself. Cannot do it? Okay, consciously express yourself. Accept the result. Previously, what all actions you are doing, looking for satisfaction, now you do the same thing, accepting the result as it is, but no more looking for satisfaction because it is in yourself. You shall counteract every thought. Therefore, since every thought can be counteracted, which thought the person should come with or not? If every memory can be dealt with, which memory you should leave behind and come? And can you leave behind a memory? You cannot leave behind a memory. Memory drops out. You don't push it out. The more you try to push it out, it shall never go. Understand? What compassion, eh? Gunai karma, prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. Prakriti, by nature, natural force, everybody sees, hear, taste, touch. In the process, even ahankar also is natural. Ahankar, are you getting that point? If you are really getting that point, you will not hold yourself responsible for the ahankar also. As even for your perception, you are not responsible. Your eyes see, are you responsible? Your ears hear, are you responsible? Ahankar also natural. I thought comes up. But a sahaja tadatmya, what in Sanskrit they call it? Sahaja tadatmya. Effortless, natural identity comes up to you. Child says, I. Everybody puts him also an identity. And the person picks up, this is me. Why do you pick it up? You don't, are you getting that? You don't have to teach somebody individuality. Do you know why? When the hunger comes, will he say, you are hungry or I am hungry? That hunger, do you create or it comes? Hunger comes. Thirst comes or not? Thirst will come. Naturally do it, thirst comes. Just like that, when you are 12, 13, 14-year-old, sexual awakening will begin. Nobody, you don't need a bad uncle or a good auntie to teach you tactics, all nonsense. Sexual awareness will come. You are 15. Have you observed the animals? Observe the animal. Please don't consider a subject taboo for God's sake. Just like your hunger comes, you don't know what to do with it. I'm hungry, thirsty, I don't know what to do with it. Body grows up, you are 15-year-old, changes take place. Suddenly sexual feelings are coming up. You don't know what to do. That is why people experiment upon and are dead. I want. Just like you say, I want food. It becomes like a hunger. Are you getting that point, please? Just like I want food, I want water. The body changes. And when the body changes, you don't know what to do with it. Something must be done about it. The caveman did whatever they felt like doing, like animals. Modern man cannot do that. Why? You are civilized. You are not supposed to talk about sex. You are not supposed to know about sex. Then what happens? Misconception. Even the highly educated people don't know anything about it. So private, so hush-hush. Whereas the society, if you look at this country, dharma, everything, dharma shastra, artha shastra, kama sutra, kama shastra, and moksha shastra, 4 things are given. Go to the temple. You go to Konarak temple, you go to Khajuraho temple, you shall see much more interesting thing, if you say interesting, much more things which is like, for the sick modern mind, it will be like pornography material. Beautiful sculptures. You must see. I can't even talk about it. Come on, go and see that. What combinations? And who sees it? Who does it? People are sitting down and carving it out. For what? Entertainment? For themselves? Look through that before you go into the sanctum to the God, go with the world. You have to cross this world to go to the God. That is why they pushed it there. It is not for titillation. But when the missionaries come, the Orthodox, the Muslim invaders came, oh, these are pagan arts, bum, 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 bum. You should see that. Whose head is cut, whose hand is cut, whose everything is cut. Beautiful temples are destroyed. Why? Because somebody thinks it is proved. This is the land. 4 things. You dharma shastra, artha shastra, kama. Why? Because what is your choice? Please think of it. When you are 15, 16-year-old and your body is awakening, sexually awakening, what do you do? Ahankara vimudatma. Ayo, I don't know what to do. That is where you start experimenting with your body. No direction. Now what is happening? 10-year-old child becomes a mother. 12-year-old becomes a father. Why? They don't know what to do. Nobody talks about it. Ahankar. The person is looking for happiness. But why in a tradition we tell that, don't do this, don't do this, what is that? Ultimately happiness is yourself. At least a language to hear. There is no happiness in food. There is no happiness in anything in the world. It's not a negative statement. Negative statement because you do not, are you getting a negative statement is because when you say there is no happiness in the world, you don't immediately support it, follow it up with a language. There is no happiness in it, but there is comfort in it. That must be supported language. Are you getting that? Money will not make you happy. It will give you some relative security. Immediately you must add. Education will not make you happy. Job will not make you happy. But they shall give you relative security. Then the secular person will, seal his mouth. Because they think religion means everything is negated. No, not in Upanishads, not in Vedic traditions. That is why he told you Vishnu, Lakshmi, Shiva, Shakti, Brahma, Saraswati, everything is combined. Everything is beautiful. So this is something natural to every individual. Kartahamiti. Hey Arjuna, this is manyate. So, can you condemn somebody for ahankar? Can you condemn somebody for his experiences in life? He did not know. Like a child picking up. 10-year-old child picking up, 20-year-old child, 30-year-old child also picking up, 30-year-old baby. Until you know yourself, you are really a grown-up baby. Because you are not knowing what you are supposed to do or not supposed to do. You don't know. That is why you can see grown-up babies crying. Baby cries for a balloon. Baby cries for a chocolate. Grown-up babies cry for gold. Crying or not? You are a crying baby. One baby crying for a toy, you are crying for a car. Who is better? Your crying has not stopped. What for you cry, that has changed. But crying, has it stopped? A grown-up baby. The person must know about himself. So no condemnation. So sweet. I am bitten by these verses. It's so good, so good. And that is why he doesn't do it? Read. Why the wise person doesn't condemn? Read. Tattva vittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayo guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate prakrute guna sammudaha sajjante guna karmasu tana krishna vido mandan krishna vinna vichalayed. Very beautiful, very simple. Tattva vittu mahavaho guna karma vibhagayoho guna gunesu vartante iti matva na sajjate. Tattvavit, one who knows. Tattvavit, atmavit. One who knows the truth of himself. Okay? Tattvavit. The one who knows the truth of himself, what happens to him? Please see. He knows. Guna karma vibhaga, he knows. Guna vibhagasya, karma vibhagasya cha tattvavit. He knows what is guna, what is karma. And guna, gunesu vartante. What is guna? Gunaha means karanatmika. Gunesu vishayatmakeshu vartante. Karana. Karana means sense organs. Guna, guneshu vartante. Sense organs. Take that statement. Now. Please see that. Gunaha karanatmika. Guneshu vishayeshu. Okay? Gunaha guneshu vartante. Sense objects, sense organs naturally gravitate means naturally perceive the sense objects. Gunaha guneshu vartante. Iti matva na sajjate. Knowing this, he is not affected. Ignorant man thinks what? I am the one who is looking at it. Understand? Ignorant man thinks, I am the one who is doing it. Do you see the difference? Understand? Eyes see or you see? Take this. Do you see this flower? You see this flower. Okay? Just think. Do you see this flower? Yes, I see this flower. Now close your eyes. Do you see this flower? No. Do you see that you don't see? Yes, I am conscious that I don't see. Okay. Now open your eyes. Do you see this flower? Yes, I see. How do you see? I am conscious that what? I see the flower. So you are conscious that you see with your eyes open. You are also conscious that you don't see with your eyes closed. So seeing and not seeing are the function of the eyes or yourself? Seeing and not seeing are the function of the eyes. Do you hear? Yes. Now close your ear. Do you hear? Nothing. Don't hear. So you are conscious of hearing, conscious of not hearing. So hearing is the function of the ears. Please see. But what happens? The one who is ignorant, when the eyes see, he says, I see. So the eyes lose capacity, I am losing capacity. Andhatva, mandatva, patutva dharma. Vivek Chudamani saw that. Bright. Your eyes have the capacity to see everything. Bright, patu. Now manda, dull. Andha, cataract. Bright, I see. Dull, I think I am losing my capacity. I am totally blind now. Is it happening to you or to your eyes? Sounds very simple. It's a huge problem for average man. Today, again, another news. A mother in Bombay told the child, 7-year-old, study. The child is interested in watching the TV. You must see, must study. The child was very stubborn, didn't study. Even for years he's been doing like that. Now exams coming or something, the mother says, study. No. I tell you read. No. He's still watching the movie. The father is sleeping there. It's the mother's job to control. The father doesn't come out. His office must have come back tired, poor thing must be sleeping. Then the mother says, if you don't study, I am going to set myself in fire. The mother said. And still the child was watching the TV. Mother brought the kerosene, put herself into fire. Understand? By the time the father smells something burning, he comes out, 90% burned. Dead. Father got burned trying to cover it up. What I am telling is, please see the average persons. This is ignorance. Staying in the secluded, protected atmosphere, discussing Brahman, absolute infinity, and getting the best knowledge. Beautiful setup. Products of beautiful mind. We may forget the world, but don't do that. That is why in ashram I should not read a newspaper, you better read it. Keep in touch with the world. Or else you shall think everybody is Brahman Atman. Yes, true, but the person doesn't know it. He thinks, I am the seer. That is how everybody sees, everybody feels. Oh, only others, you are all sitting down here because you are studying, you are wonderful. Then why are you fighting for a laddu? Why are you fighting over a cloth? Why are you fighting over a speech? Somebody said something. Because you drag it onto yourself. The moment you drag it onto yourself, it sticks. Listen, a word is thrown. To whom does it hit? What is the target of the word? Come on, think it. What is the target of a word? I speak. What is the target? One who receives it gets hit. One who doesn't receive it doesn't get hit. Good, bad, both. I say you are Brahman. You listen to it, you get hit. If you don't get it, don't get it. You are an idiot. You receive it, Swami is talking to me, an idiot. I told you are a Brahman also. Which, are you getting that? What shall I say? Ishvara. Nobody can touch you. Unless you drag it, nothing shall reach you. Let the fellow talk anything he likes. Let the fellow talk anything he likes. You are not self-righteous. Oh, let them do anything, I don't care. Huh? Do I really do that? No, forget it. Like that celebrated story of the Buddha. When somebody is abusing him, the students get angry and they give us permission, we shall bash him up. And Buddha hands over his kamandalu. Students don't take it. Buddha asks, Attributed the story to Buddha, doesn't matter to whose it is. When he's giving this begging bowl, if the students take it, it belongs to them. They don't take it, it belongs to Buddha. Buddha said, this man was offering so many things, I don't accept. So to whom it belongs? To him. Think of it. You take it, drag it onto yourself. Anger, hatred, jealousy, emotions, perceptions. Guna gunesu vartanti. Are you understanding? Did you bring the rain today? Anybody? Organize the rain? Did you organize the summer? Did you organize your hunger? It all happened. Body means this, that is why Tattvabodha classes. The Tattvabodha classes gives you the basics. What is a gross body, what is a subtle body, what is a causal body, what is a sense organ, what is an organ of action, who are you? Very clearly you see that. Gunaha gunesu vartante. Iti matva na sajati. Why? Tattvavit. One who knows the truth of himself, only about himself, knows the truth of the body. So body belongs to body, sense organs to sense organs, thought to thought, me to myself. Each one has its own place. Therefore na sajjate. Prakrutehe gune sammudaha. Sajjante gunasarmasu. Tan akrishna vido mandana. Krishna vidna vichalayit. What a compassionate language. Krishnavit. Krishnavit, sarvavit. Krishnam sarvam. One who knows about everything. Knows about himself, about his mind, about his body, about the creation. The wise one. Whole plan is revealed. Such a person, to him the injunction is, na vichalayet, may you not confuse, may you not disturb. To whom? Akrishna vido mandana. Akrishna vid, those who do not know anything. Manda, ignorant, dull, indiscriminative. Such people, what do? Prakrute guna sammudha. Guna karmasu sajjante. They are sammudha, deluded by prakrutehe guna. This sense organ, sense object. Perceiver, perceived. Thinker, thought. Which is natural in this universe. But they drag it onto themselves. And therefore, sajjante, gunasu, karmasu, sajjante. They get lost in the sense perception, sensation, thoughts, memories, I thought. You see that whole enactment. Since they are already confused, should you confuse them more? The attempt of the teacher should be to take them away from ignorance or to keep them in ignorance. That is why Kathopanishad so beautifully. How does the Kathopanishad say? Andhenaiva niyamana athanda avidyaya mantare vartamana swayam dhira pandita manyamana dandrabhyamana pariyanti mudha andhenaiva niyamana yathanda. What love! Avidyaya mantare vartamana, existing under the deep slumber of ignorance. Swayam dhiraha, pandita mitya manyamana, consider themselves very learned and smart ones. Dandrabhyamana pariyanti mudaha, but themselves spinning around in the circles. Andhenaiva niyamanathan, such people pretending to be the guides of the universe, spiritual guide, drunk. The person doesn't know what to do. When the fellow is drunk, he doesn't have any common sense. One fellow was drunken fellow, was going on the road, then suddenly he hears a voice, "Hey, Bill, how are you?" Then this fellow started looking everywhere. There is nobody. He is drunk. He is going, there is nobody. He saw a horse is standing there. He said, "The horse is talking or what?" Then he recognized that horse is a circus horse. And his name is Hilly Billy. So he said, "Hey, are you talking?" He said, "What? You forgot me?" This horse talked to him. "You forgot me? I am the talking horse. You remember when we both of us were there in that show? What a nice round of applause we got." He said, "Yeah, I remember." Then he said, "What are you up to?" "What up to? That fellow sold me off to this man, and I'm every day crying, I'm every day carrying ice." Then he said, "Wait until I see your owner. I'll tell him." He said, "No, don't tell him that I speak. If he knows I'm speaking, he will tell me to holler, 'Ice, ice.'" Not only I have to now carry the load of ice, but I have also to shout, "Ice, ice, ice." That much at least he is doing now. So the fellow has some common sense. Even the animal has some common sense, but the drunken fellow has no common sense. Avidyayam antare vartamana. Completely drunk with everything. So andhenaiva niyamanatanda. So what do? Full of do's, don'ts, full of conditions. That is why some people take pride in discipline. In our place, we don't even have little garlic. So what shall I do? Prostrate to you? In our place, we eat only white, or only red, or only green. Your mind is too colored. Don't worry. You may put up one single color every day to show your holiness, but your head is fully colored. Don't worry about it. You're totally color blind. Understand? So such a person, Mandan Krishnavit na vichalayit, don't ever confuse. That is why to be critical of somebody's weakness is so insensitive. Always try to understand under what circumstances, why somebody is behaving in a particular way. When anger is talking, when hatred is talking, when jealousy is talking, when insecurity is talking, ignorance is talking, shall we get angry or sympathize? When the child says, "You are not my mommy, I am not going to stay with you, I am going to go to uncle's house." Mommy will say, "Okay, go, get lost. I am not your mother anymore." Huh? Why? The child is talking like that because anger is talking, not the child is talking. When anger goes, "Mommy, Zambel will come." Does the mother reminds, "You told me I am not your mom." You don't do that. People who are stuck under emotions, when they say something, you must be conscious enough to know who is talking. Is he talking or anger is talking? Is he talking or jealousy is talking? Is she talking or the insecurity is talking? Is person talking or the fear is talking? So, take them for what it is. Don't condemn. That is where you get enormous strength to accept everybody, everything as it is. Na vichalayet. See that injunction, do not confuse somebody. Why? Ignorance is confusion enough. Help somebody to know himself. Don't confuse. How do I then, what shall I tell them? What should I do? Read. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasam nirasi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jvaraha mai sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasam nirasir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. So, don't confuse them. What shall you do? Josayet sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharan. You do as they are doing. You live their life. The person should see in an ideal that as much I am in the world, that much he is in the world. How come he is not affected, I am affected? Simple example. I am in the water, you are in the water. I am not drowning, you are drowning. Why? Because I know swimming, you don't know. I am in the world, you are in the world. How come somebody feels suffocated and drowned, other people is happily hanging around? Because one knows swimming, other doesn't know swimming. In the world you can say, but the child is smiling because the child is not aware yet that he is drowning. Ignorant man, are you getting that? In the beginning stages of life, the innocence of the ignorance makes you smile all the time. The child is all the time smiling. Why? Because he is yet to know the danger that is coming. Adult means aware of the danger, aware of the limitations. Wise man means totally gone beyond the danger. Therefore, the wise man's smile is real smile. Because after that, nothing else. That is why Krishna smiling, Prahasanniva Bharata, Arjuna crying. So he can pass on the smile also. So, he knows. So don't confuse. Josai sarva karma, doing the same thing. But what? How? Mai sarva, hey Arjuna, may you act on this way. Mai sarvari karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Adhyatma chetasa sarvani karmani mai sanyasya. Adhyatma chetasa means what? Viveka buddhya aham karta ishwaraya bhrutyavat karomi iti ananya buddhya. This is the buddhi. Adhyatma chetasa. Viveka buddhya aham, viveka, by your full discrimination you should know, aham karta, I am doing. How? Ishwaraya karta. For the sake of God I do. Ishwara prityartam ahamidam karishe. For the sake of the God, the totality I am doing it. Not for my sake. Bhrutyavat karomi. That is where Karma Yoga Buddhi, as I told you, two things. Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Either you sacrifice the result of the action at the altar of the God. If you are a believer, take this. Or Adhyatma Chetasa, God is in me. The self, the awareness. I am the absolute happiness. On the result of the action, my happiness does not depend. So, you don't depend on the result of action because you are happy, or you don't accept the credit for the result of action, it belongs to God. Which one is better? You choose. But both will do the same job. Are you getting that point? So, God should be accepted or rejected? That is why when a tradition dismisses God, you know what he does? It's a huge harm on people. You cannot dismiss God. At the same time, you cannot make a wrong concept of a God. Wrong concept of God is what? This is the only God, and there is no such stuff. He is everything. Adhyatma Chetasa. You can see it in yourself. So, Adhyatma Chetasa, Sarvani Karmani Sanyasya, having offered all actions, and therefore Karmani, Karma Phalani. Action as well as the result of action. Consciously functioning. Are you getting that point? A moment of anger comes up. Oh God, why? Please, it's yours. It's yours. It's yours. I don't have to do it. Give it to him. Which one is better? You stand by yourself, ignore the thought. See it as a thought. Ignore means just see the thought as it is. Or give it to Ishvara. Nirasi bhutva, nirmamo bhutva, yuddhasva, bigata jvara. Bigata jvara, bigata santapa, bigata soka. No more you have a reason to grieve in life. Why? Nirasi bhutva, nirmamo bhutva, yuddhasva. May you fight. May you continue to act on in life. Nirasi bhutva. No asa. No expectation on the result of action for happiness. Nirmamo bhutva, it is not mine, it belongs to Ishvara. Both way, you are fine. The result of action doesn't make me happy or unhappy. Comfortable, uncomfortable, yes. Happiness is myself. This all belongs to Ishvara. Prasad buddhi. But I do. Inactivity is not encouraged. Yuddhasva. Fight. Hey, listen. For the karma phala, should you not have to accept the karma phala? Should you have the karma or no? Without a karma, what is the karma phala? Right? But then, inactivity also is an action. Suppose you say, I have to be inactive. Okay, what is the karma phala of the inactivity? Poverty. Should you tell people, be poor? Is it an injunction? You should be a failure. What type of injunction is that? To be a failure, what should you do? To be a failure, what should you do? When you don't do anything, you are automatically a failure. Right? To drown, what should you do? Don't swim. To drown, what should you do? You are in the water, no? And the water is rising, continuously water is rising. To drown, what should you do? But escape? No swimming. No, I faith in, believe in God. No, believing in God also will not save you. One day a fellow was sitting in his house, small house, and a flood started coming. And he claims to be a very devotee. So then people are going away. When people are going away, they call him, hey, come. He said, no, my God will protect me. So he's sitting down there. Now the water came to leg. People are going. Knee, people are going. Thighs, people are going. Chest, people are going. That is the time one buffalo passed through that way, swimming. And buffalo looked at him. Catch the buffalo's tail and go away. No. Then the people are shouting, hey, take the buffalo. Catch his tail and go away. My God will protect me. Then another person, after that goes away, then a fellow comes in a boat. Hey, the water is already down, come here. No, no, God will protect me. He said, are you crazy? Come in the boat. He said, no, my God will only protect me. He goes there. Of course, the fellow drowns, dead, reaches upstairs, story, reaches upstairs, and then he challenges God. God said, when he sees that, he said, I believed in you throughout my life, and the water is, everybody ran, I believed in you, and I drowned. He said, what can I do? I sent you a buffalo, I sent you a boat, but you won't take anything. What can I do? So this type of stupid belief, God himself should come, What can he do? Some people are like that, crazy, absolutely crazy. No. Yuddhasva. May you continue to fight, but with this result. Continue to fight means continue to do your action in life. If you do so, nirasibhutva, so ask yourself the question, how are you functioning in life? So you cannot stop acting. Act you must. Thoughts will push you into action. Ask yourself, thoughts pushing you into action or you are conscious? If you are conscious, your problem is solved. If you are not conscious, suppose thoughts are pushing you and you can't hold it, consciously express. Nirasi bhutva, nirmamo bhutva. No expectation of the result, no question of attributing the result of action to yourself. Accept the result as it is. Ishvara karmani sanyasya. Ishvare, in Ishvara, everything given to him. With that attitude you function. Then what will happen? Beautiful. Now, finish up. Just read through, because thereafter there is nothing much to talk about. Just read through these verses. Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha Shraddhavanto nasuyantah muchyante tepi karmavihi ye tve tadabhyusuyantah nanutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudhanstan Vidhi nashtana chetasah. Very simple. Now in conclusion, Bhagavan says, hey Arjuna, ye idam matam me idam matam, ye manavaha, those people, idam matam nityam anutishtanti, those people, those who follow this vision of mine, this program of mind, this blueprint of mind, Shraddhavanta san, anasuyantah, te karmabhihi muchyante. Such people, Shraddhavanta with Shraddha, anasuyantah, without any jealousy. What is jealousy? Oh, why shall I do? Because God says so, Krishna says so, therefore I shall do. That is asuya. Asuya means when jealousy. Oh, because that man says I should. You suppose you tell your friend, hey, the book says so, therefore I am doing it, or Swami says so, or somebody says so. Why do you think that fellow says, therefore you should act? Are you a slave? Can you not think for yourself? This is the type of, notorious nonsense you come across in the world. Why? With the person who says, can you not decide for yourself? Okay. What is your decision? Your decision comes from what? Limited knowledge or total knowledge? If your decision comes from the limited knowledge, how can you function in life? Are you getting that point? It's like a child going to a shop. The shopkeeper told, okay baby, pick up few chocolate and take the, what is that? Lozenges. Take a handful and go. The child is waiting. After finish 2-3 customers, the child is still standing. He said, take 2-3 and go. I told you, take your handful and go. The person is waiting. Then this man puts his hand, takes a handful and give it to him. He takes it and goes. He said, okay, you are taking, going now. Why were you waiting? Why didn't you take and go? Now you are taking and go. He said, you take a handful. My hand is small. My hand is small. It's the same way. Why do you take the decisions from the wise people? Because my mind is limited. His mind, so many possibilities he sees. Therefore, I ask something. Not that because he said, therefore I must do it. Now look at this beautiful perception. Infinity directing. Infinity directing. Absolute. Krishna, the whole plan is there. Start with the limitation. Ignorance is natural. Perception is natural. Individuality is natural. Suffering is natural. And therefore these complications shall be there. But let the person know about himself. And in order to know about himself, let him counteract the likes and dislikes. And how does he like then counter and dislike? Same action which he was doing before, expecting a result, expecting his happiness, now he does the same action without expecting happiness from the result of action, because happiness doesn't lie in the result of action. So when does he accept the result as it is, the thoughts are counteracted, he understands himself. Therefore, because of your action, your life is taken care. Because of your attitude, you are happy. What do you want in life more? With your action, you are happy, everybody is happy. The whole world is prosperous. Yagyat bhavati parjanya, parjanyat annasambhava, annat bhavanti bhutani. You see that? Beautiful. Evam pravartitam chakram. That is how the whole world becomes prosperous. Everybody is happy with himself and each one doing his job. So those people, manavaha anuthishtanti, those people who follow me, Arjuna, as it is, sarva karma bihi muchyante, they also free from the hold of all karma. No karma ties them. Why? Individuality is not there behind the action. It's like when you kill for the country, you are not punished. You are given reward. When you kill for yourself, you are out. Limited example. Even for killing for the country also is waste. Because country means you think other countries are enemy. In the total vastness, there is no neighborhood to be destroyed. Everybody is same. Why should I kill another man, kill another person? For what? Even that concept of, that is why make it a global village. Those days are gone when community fighting, country fighting, society, this is gone. Now we are one. The whole humanity should be one. Finished. Borders must disappear. And today we have enough infrastructure for that. Fast communication. Watch, what is that? Planes, computers. It's like a village. So why should we, fight with anybody? This knowledge becomes a greater necessity now. Provides you an infrastructure that everything must be one. Whereas, those people jealous of me. Oh, Krishna talking, therefore I shall take. A Hindu tradition I will not take. Hey, don't talk it Hindu or Krishna. This is truth, absolute truth. Just because Newton discovered the law of gravity doesn't make it a British truth. You see, universal truth happens to be discovered by him. Universal truth happens to be putting on this land. Krishna happens to be talking. Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be discussed. Arjuna is the prince, is the student, but meant for everybody. And those who think, oh, this is Krishna talking, I should take, why should I listen? Anasuyanta, na anutishthandi manava. They do not follow. They don't have this attitude in their life. Sarvajnana vibhudanstan vidhi nashtana chetasah. Hey Arjuna, vidhi, know them as nashtan, spoilt brat. Achetasah, mindless. Jnana, sarvajnana vimuda. They are totally deluded people. Arrogant, ignorant, arrogant, confused. They say they may have everything in life, but they should never have the freedom, the peace, the love, the laughter, the joy, the fulfillment, the satisfaction, contentment. That will never happen. Why? Because a person is searching in the wrong place. He'll never get it. Never they will get it. You know. Either they will not get it here, they will be waiting for hereafter, there also they will not get it. Because it has to be gained here and now. With right attitude, you receive it here and now. Okay? With this finishing it, now he says, we shall see tomorrow. Very beautiful. Hey Arjuna, all these things you must understand, because don't unnecessarily push people into anything. Suppose somebody says, why should I do that? I can follow it. Okay, let him do it. Don't get angry with him. Suppose a person doesn't want to change. Don't worry. Can you believe this thinking? Read it. You want to read it? Tomorrow we shall see. Sadrusham chestate swasyaha prakruter jnanavanapi prakrutim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. We shall see it tomorrow. He says, hey Arjuna, don't worry. The person, even after knowing these things, sometimes the fellow will behave as he behaves, according to his prakriti. Nigraha kim karishyati. Whatever, however much you may say, the fellow will not stop. Let him be. His time will come. Don't worry. Can you believe that? Total acceptance of even a rogue. A fellow says, no, I am not interested. Oh, very good. Look, suppose I say, be healthy. You say, no, I don't want to be healthy. Now, who will suffer? That is why the teacher is, if you are really understand this truth, you are not angry with anybody for anything. Why? Suppose a person doesn't understand. I don't want to take it. Okay. Why? Who is going to suffer? Even Krishna doesn't take it on himself that this fellow must understand. Don't worry about it. Everybody is himself. Anyway, we shall see it tomorrow. Okay? So please see that point, the whole blueprint for human life. What shall you give? What a lovely thing. Close your eyes.